Right then, it's that time of year when we find out who has been voted by the players to be the team of the year in the Premier League, and this is what they've come up with. Now, first of all, Liverpool and Man City, of course, taking over the team of the year. They have been the best two teams for the entirety of the season by a mile. So you can't complain that 10 out of the 11 players are from those two teams. Only one player has made it outside of City and Liverpool, and that is Paul Pogba. So the reason I'm making this video is because I would like to argue that, and also some other players that maybe could have got in there that maybe didn't. I don't think it's wrong necessarily other than Pogba. I think Pogba could have potentially had a better season. I think he pretty much was one of the main players that was downing his tools when Mourinho was struggling, and he really didn't help that situation at all. He's always causing trouble off the pitch, isn't he? And as soon as Solskjaer's come in, he has been a lot better, and I think he's practically in this team because of the remaining fixtures they had, and they've still got 3 to go, of course, where he has been a very good player for them. But team of the year is about the whole season, right? The team of the year or team of the season. It's not about the last 4 months of the season. So I don't think Pogba should be there. The other one I'm slightly questioning is Alexander-Arnold. I know he has been very good when he has played. He's had a couple of injuries here and there. I would argue that maybe Doherty from Wolves could be in with a shout there. Maybe Wan-Bissaka, or I'm probably getting his name wrong, the Crystal Palace youngster. I think he has had a very good season. So, yeah, I guess you could question Alexander-Arnold as well. But Ederson in goal ahead of Alisson, very tough decision. I think if Liverpool are winning the league right now, I kind of have a feeling he'd be in. But as Man City are winning, I think Ederson gets the go-ahead because, I don't know, it's a funny one. Obviously, it's voted by the players, and I think a lot of players might be frustrated at how good Alisson has been, and they'd rather give it to Ederson. It's obviously not that. I just think that is quite literally 50-50. I'd be happy with either there. I think they've both been outstanding this season. You can't argue with the rest of the defence. Laporte has to be in there. Van Dijk, arguably the best player this season, if you ask me, along with Sterling. And Robertson, the best left-back, I want to say, in Europe right now, but I think that might be a little bit too far. Is there anyone playing better than him right now, though? I don't think there is, but there are better players overall. They're maybe just not having good seasons. Like, Marcelo is a better left-back than Robertson. We all know it. But on form, and based off this season, Robertson is the better left-back. It's, of course, all about form. And, of course, this is a Premier League vote. But what I'm trying to say is Robertson should be in there, and he is probably the best left-back in the Premier League and maybe in Europe at the moment, based on form. So then moving on into midfield, Fernandinho at DM? I guess so. I think Fernandinho's had another very good season. His standards are set very high. He's obviously a very consistent player, but he does get rested a lot these days. I mean, the guy is, 33 years old. Pep has openly said that he can't handle the amount of games they play now. But every time he has played, he has been immense for Man City. So he has to go in there, really. Who else could? Maybe Fabinho, but then again, he had a little bit of a slow start this season. Don't really think there could be anyone else in that position. No, I don't think so. We've already mentioned Pogba. I don't think he should be in this team of the season at all, or team of the year. Bernardo Silva, 100% should be in there, but technically, isn't he a winger? Although he has played a lot of games in the middle as well, especially when David Silva wasn't playing. So I kind of get that he can be put into the midfield here, and I wouldn't put anyone else ahead of him. He has to be in this team, and so does Sterling, who arguably has been the best player this season. He gets in on the right side there with Mane on the left. Now, another questionable one. Where is Hazard? Hazard has had one of his best seasons since he's joined Chelsea and has single-handedly carried Chelsea to almost a top 4 finish. They could still get it, but without Hazard, who I think has contributed just over half the goals this season and assists, by the way, Chelsea wouldn't be anywhere near where they are. He has carried them. So for me, Hazard probably should be going in ahead of Mane, but Mane's had a very good season as well. And then you're missing out Salah as well, who I know hasn't played as well as last year, but has still had a very good season. Very difficult. And then Aguero as the striker. I mean, Aguero's just one of those players now that you're just not surprised to see in a team like this. I don't even think he's had that great of a season compared to some of the others. But if you think to the 2 games in a row where he scored a hat-trick, he was immense against Arsenal, like just unplayable. And he has been getting a lot of goals. He's kept Jesus out of the team a lot of the time. So I guess Aguero goes in there. Who else could be there? Firmino? I don't think so. Aubameyang? Definitely not, even though he is one of the top scorers. It's got to be Aguero, hasn't it? Pretty much. Kane doesn't get in there. Hasn't had the best of seasons. Obviously injured as well. Heung-min Son could be in this team. Very, very difficult picking the front 3. And I think I'm happy with it. I don't think there's anything wrong with Mane being in there, but I think Hazard probably deserves it more just because of the situation Chelsea are in. So, in general, I think the team is 80% correct. I think Pogba's out, Mane's out, and possibly Ederson for Alisson. But it's still a very, very well-picked team. I don't really think you can argue too much, except from maybe Pogba as the only absolute choice that I think is wrong. I think a lot of people like Pogba. A lot of the players like him. He is a good character. He's obviously a very good player as well. He's got great ability. But team of the year, team of the season, no, I don't think so. So let me know your comments down below. We're now going to move on to and remember I just said my flops of the season. This is a team of players that I think were destined to have a good season, but just flopped. There are some players in there that probably don't deserve it in your opinion. That's absolutely fine. But don't slate me. It's my opinion after all the games I've watched. I think these are the players that deserve to be in there. So let me go ahead and put that up on the screen now. So, in goal, I've put Kepa. Now, this was the hardest position along with striker. Kepa, I'm only putting him there because of the price tag and because of that insane turn of events when Chelsea had the penalty shootout and Kepa refused to come off in that game and then ballsed it up in the actual penalties. So, yeah, Kepa, I think, just on that alone, when he was manager for the day, should be in this flops of the season team. For the amount of money they've spent, he should have been doing a lot better this season as well. His stats are okay. They're okay. Nothing amazing. You could argue that maybe Joe Hart goes in there. Maybe even, and some people are saying on Twitter, that David De Gea should be in there. But I know he's had a few bad games this season, but flop of the season, is he really going to be in that team? Nah. At right back, I've gone with Lichtsteiner. No words required, has been woeful. He had maybe 1 or 2 okay-ish games at the start of the season, but since then, we're too scared to play him because he's archaic. Then we've got Mustafi, who for me has been the flop of the season. Even though other teams have been relegated, other teams have had to sell players because they've been so bad or, whatever. Mustafi is in this team as the captain. He has flopped hard this season. Mustafi is a World Cup winner, cost us 35 million. He had an okay start to his career, but ever since, I'd say, 2 seasons ago, it has been a steady decline. And this year, boom, he has to be gone in this summer. I shouldn't carry on talking about him. Now, Mina from Everton, I thought he would be incredible for Everton, but turns out he can't really get in the team. Big signing from Barcelona. Looked to be the perfect centre-back, the perfect modern-day centre-back. He's quick. He's massive, like 6'5". He's really good on the ball, but can't get in the Everton side. I don't know about that. Maybe he's had a few injuries, but Yerry Mina definitely has been a flop this season. And then Ashley Young. I mean, pretty self-explanatory. Has had a very poor season. He's way past it. And the fact that United are still lining up with him, Smalling, Jones in their team in 2019, it's quite hilarious, really. Now, moving on into midfield, we've got Jorginho in there. Mainly, again, similar to Kepa, because of that price tag, because of, and I don't think it's necessarily all his fault, but a lot of pressure was put onto Jorginho by Sarri, who wants him to be the main man, and I don't think it's worked. It really hasn't worked, actually. I don't think it. I know it. Jorginho hasn't been a good signing. It's been a lot of money, and he's had some good performances. He's had some very bad performances, and I don't think it's all his fault, but he is a flop. He is a flop. Simple as that. We've then got Dele Alli and Seri in there. Dele Alli, it's a bit harsh. I could not put a Tottenham player in there, but honestly, I think Dele Alli is one of the most overrated players in the Premier League, and I'm not just saying that because I'm an Arsenal fan. He has had a very good start to his career. There's no doubt about it. He's a starter in the England team, arguably a starter in the Tottenham team, but has he been very good this season? No. It's been a very poor season by his standards, and to be fair, the only other player I could think of putting in was Fred, and I wanted to put Ali in there because Seri is going to be the other choice there. Seri came to Fulham at the beginning of this season after being linked with Barcelona in the last few seasons. He was even linked with Arsenal quite recently. We almost went for him apparently, but got Torreira instead. He ends up going to Fulham. Everyone saw those performances in the opening few weeks. We all thought, wow, Seri, what a player. He's going to keep Fulham up. But since then, boy, this guy has flopped. He's flopped hard. Really, really poor from Seri. And disappointing, really. I expected a lot more. So he definitely gets in the team. And then his teammate, Schürrle. Again, it was a difficult one, this. I thought about Willian from Chelsea. There's a couple of others that maybe could have got in. But Schürrle, for me, again, it's just the stature of the player. This guy, World Cup winner. He's played at the top level. But at Fulham, despite maybe a couple of good moments, he scored an absolute peach of a goal earlier on in the season, but just has not done a very good job at Fulham. And I guess it doesn't help that he's playing with lesser players than himself. I think he is one of their best players for sure, ability-wise. Just hasn't worked out this season. And then on the other side, Alexis Sanchez. Now, just to put this into perspective, if you're a fan of FIFA, as you know I am, you'll know that as players perform throughout the year, they get their ratings changed. Sanchez is now 83 rated in FIFA 19, in career mode at least, the head-to-head player stats. 83. This time last year at Arsenal, I think he was 86 or 87. I think, obviously it doesn't really mean anything, a FIFA stat, but it does show that Sanchez has had an absolutely disastrous season. He is a shadow of the player he once was at Arsenal and Barcelona. Absolutely terrible. He couldn't get into that Man United team, even if he was fully fit. Just no chance. He has been so bad, and it gives me a little bit of a happy feeling, because he ditched us. He really did. He ditched Arsenal. He went to a bigger club. Okay, fine. They're a bigger club. But he went to win trophies and he felt this was the next big step in his career. Well, how did that work out for you, eh? And then Lukaku up top. Again, difficult one, this. I can't really think of many strikers that have flopped this season. But the price tag that Lukaku has, the fact that he wasn't able to get a starting role in this team regularly. Rashford, I think, is ahead of him. I think it's not looking good for Lukaku. And apparently Manchester United are open to selling him. They're open to discussion, and it wouldn't surprise me if potentially he's one of those players that is just going to go ahead and be sold. So that's my team of the year. No, it's not. It's my flops of the year. They've all been 2 out of 10. They've been rubbish this year, and you may not agree with it. That's absolutely fine. I completely get it. Let me know your flops of the season team. Tweet me it, whatever, and let me know, because I think most of these are absolute guarantees. They have to be in there, but there are some questionable ones. I think maybe Kepa, Lukaku, Ali, a little bit harsh, but that's the end of this video. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video soon.